Hey guys, welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast special edition. We are going to take a look at the current WWE champions on the main roster. And this is going to be part of a monthly series that we are going to do for you guys. Where we will going to take a look at every single champion on the main roster, analyze their current feuds, and ultimately determine who is going to be the person to take that title off of them. For some of these, it may seem obvious. For others, it might be a little bit of fantasy booking or just complete nonsense. So with that, I am Mike, joined by Mr. Sean O'Neill. And Sean, let's get right into it. We have 11 championships in total with which to look at. And we won't go in any kind of like level of importance, I'd say, but we'll just kind of start at the bottom of this list that I happen to have pulled up here, and we'll work our way up from there. So let's start with one that might be a little bit harder, and that is our Women's United States Champion, Julia. So Julia's not really in any kind of like particular feud at the moment. She's actually going to kind of be in the tag team scene a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, but I'll let you go first with this one. So who and what ultimately becomes the next women's US champion, and where do we go from here?
So Julie is a tough one because for the amount of time that she's held the title, like even though she dropped it for like 2 weeks, she's never really had an actual feud, I don't think, because they've done such a shitty job of booking her on SmackDown. Um, like you mentioned, as of right now, her and Kiana James are going to be going up against Riho for that bout. I think that's just going to be a one-off though for the tag belts. Honestly, trying to think about who there even is on the SmackDown women's roster that could even really be a decent feud for her. I mean, she's already gone up against Zelina Vega. She's already done the Chelsea Green thing. I mean, Jordynne Grace is probably doing other stuff. I don't actually know that as of the way it is standing right now, I don't know if there's a legitimate challenger to Julia. And that's a problem. You know what I mean? Every belt,
It's somebody. You got to pick somebody.
let me get to my point though. Every belt is every belt should have a relatively clearly defined challenger. And the problem with that one is it doesn't. So I'm going to say that your challenger for that belt is going to be a moving up to SmackDown debuting Sol Ruka.
That was going to be my pick as well, actually. I think they gave her a lot in the Royal Rumble. She looked real good. And I think it makes sense for her or another one of the NXT call-ups to be the one to take that belt off of Julia. And hopefully Julia moves on to bigger and better things.
Yeah,
But I think that could be cool. I also don't hate the idea of it being Kiana James as well. They gave her quite the showing at the Royal Rumble as well. So I could certainly see her being one of the ones to do that as well. If you're going to move Julia up the card.
that was
Because
another
they've
name
been
on my
allowing
list.
Kiana James to wrestle a lot. She's definitely doing way more than the manager stuff.
Oh yeah, and that was actually somebody I thought about, just because she's already right there with Julia. But I don't know that I see them breaking the two of them up that quickly.
Hmm. Okay. Next, we move on to our men's United States champion, Carmelo Hayes.
You start this
Would you
one.
like? Okay. I think this one is going to be interesting because he's doing the US Open Challenge still quite a bit. And you're definitely seeing how as the more and more time that goes by, the more he certainly is going, he's like selling more injuries and he's certainly looking like he's getting beaten down more. He's going to kind of do a thing with the Miz in a little bit, but I am of the mind that Obafemi is going to show up to SmackDown, destroy him, destroy the Miz, and take that title, and maybe continue the U.S. Open Challenge and just destroy people for a little while. And that might be what they do with him and Brock at WrestleMania. But I think that's where we're gonna go with that one. So Obafemi for me to take out Mello and become the next US champion. And he may hold that belt for a while.
So I believe that I fantasy booked that exact feud on our Raw episode, and that's exactly what I was going to go with for mine. When I brought it up on Raw, it makes too much sense for that to be what they do. I mean, you have Obafemi, who still isn't signed to a brand yet. You have Hayes have an open challenge. Oba comes out and destroys him. Nick Aldis immediately signs him. You know what I mean? I think that is the perfect way to do it, and you have the perfect person to do it and to hand the title over to Oba in a injured Carmelo Hayes. I think
Mhm.
that's if WWE would ever book intelligently, that story writes itself.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. All right, I got a layup here for you. Your women's intercontinental champion, Becky Lynch.
Natty.
Lay layup.
It's going to be 100%. It's going to 100% be Natty is going to end up taking that title off of her. And by Natty, I mean like an episode of Scooby Doo where she's going to get in the middle of the ring and pull off a mask to reveal AJ Lee.
Yeah.
It's they've been setting this story in motion for what 6 7 months now since September. I mean this has always been the end game was a WrestleMania match between Becky and AJ Lee, and my only concern is that does WWE want to put the title on somebody who is another part timer basically? Because I don't see AJ Lee wrestling that much. You know what I mean? So my thought
So
is she wins the belt and doesn't hold it for a very long time.
let me counter that though with the fact that Becky doesn't wrestle all that much either, though. Like Becky wrestles what, once a month, you know? So, and with that being said, I think the thing with her and Maxine is probably over with for right
Yep.
now. And Maxine and Natty are going to do their thing after Natty's done with Becky, after Natty's done losing to Becky. Maxine may even come out and cost her.
That's what I'm expecting.
But I have a feeling that's kind of the direction that that's going to go. But yeah, lock it in. AJ Lee will very likely be the next one to take that title off of Becky Lynch. Moving on to the men's Intercontinental Championship, which is currently held by Dirty Dominik Mysterio. And we've been harping on this channel for a while about somebody desperately needing to take that title off of Dirty Dominik Mysterio. And there are a lot of people who could do that. We've been saying that there are a variety of challengers and a variety of people with which we would put into a potential title opportunity. I'm thinking of people like Rusev. I'm thinking of people like Sheamus. I'm thinking of Damian Priest. I'm thinking of a lot of different people who I'd be very interested to kind of put in and around that Intercontinental Championship and certainly make it back into the fighting belt that it was when Gunther held it, or even when Sami Zayn held it, you know? But with that being said, I think right now, for me, I think the only direction I can go with this is Finn Balor. I think it's going to be Finn Balor when the Judgment Day finally has its splitting apart, which seems to be coming more up to the heels with Liv Morgan winning the Royal Rumble. And I think it makes a ton of sense that it be Finn Balor, at least for me, for right now. My mind may change when we do this again next month, because he might still have this belt next month. But I don't see him having this belt past Mania.
So Dom's another one where it's a little bit on the hard side because he doesn't have a feud as of right now because he's been out for 2 months with an injury. And honestly, I'm surprised WWE didn't strip him of the belt. The only reason I can think of for that is because he's so popular with the fans. And so that kind of puts him in a interesting place of WWE needs to build a feud for him since he's been gone. I think that he will hold the title. We'll still be talking about him next month because as of right now, it looks like Finn is going to get another shot at other titles. But I think that what we're going to see is Dom is going to hold the belt through until Mania, and I think at WrestleMania we're going to see a multi-person match, and you're either going to see Finn Balor leave with the title, like you said, as part of the Judgment Day breakup, or officially returned Chad Gable.
Oh, I love that. I love that a lot. I also was thinking too, Sheamus doesn't have a ton of time left and he needs that belt. I would be perfectly okay with them giving him
Is he still hurt?
that belt, maybe. But I mean, find a way to get that belt on him, even if it's for a week.
Yeah,
He
even if
deserves
it's a day. Have him win
dude
it at
absolutely
Mania and drop it like Zack Ryder did.
yeah, dude absolutely deserves it. He's given 20 years to that company.
Yep.
It wouldn't surprise me if he's gonna end up on Gunther's career killer list at some point as well.
Be a fun set of matches. They'll be hard hitting.
All right, these next ones are going to be a bit more challenging. I think you're gonna struggle with this next one. The World Tag Team Champions, the Usos.
Oh God. The 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 Raw tag team division is so friggin' bad. I mean, we know right now that the number one contenders to the Usos belt is the Alpha Babes, um, of Otis and Tozawa, and obviously that's not going to be a thing. Um, the problem is I don't know that there is an established tag team that even has a chance at beating them. I don't know that we get an actual feud for the Usos. I think they just run through random tag teams for the next several weeks and then face all of them at Mania in some sort of goofy main multi team match. Because there's not a single tag team on Raw with JD McDonough out injured and the Judgment Day not being able to tag together that is even a legitimate contender. I mean, I would like to see with Chad Gable coming back, him maybe whip the Creeds into shape and be like, what the hell were you doing while I was gone? You guys became a joke. And maybe we get like a focused, serious American made team that I could get behind. Because then you could have Intercontinental Champion Chad Gable and Tag Team Champions American made. But I also don't know that I see the Usos dropping it anytime soon. I think that Jimmy's going to probably get a little bit of time off once Naomi has the baby. And so maybe they drop it because of that. But they needed something to do with Jay and the fact that he's a cartoon character. And what better place to put him than back with his brother, and he can ham it up in the tag team division with nobody else there. So I think that I put an asterisk next to this one.
So the right answer here is the Vision. The Vision is going to be the next ones to take those tag team titles because it's the only way, and I'm holding out hope here. It is the
Yeah,
only way that those tag team titles become relevant again, is if you put them on a dominant heel team. And it's going to be Bronson Reed for sure, and probably I'm still of the mind theory is going to turn and help Seth Rollins when he comes back. So I'm going to go with Logan Paul.
I honestly didn't even think about the division since they haven't really been working as tag teams that much lately. But you're right. You want to bring back any sort of relevancy and prestige to those tag team titles as on Raw. You have to have the Vision win them. They're the only strong enough candidates, but to go against you, I think it's Bronson, and I do think it's Theory, even if he turns. Because think about the storytelling you can have if they're the tag team champions and Theory turns out to be a mole.
Yeah, it could be interesting. And that would actually make those belts fun and relevant and watchable.
Yep.
Moving on to the WWE Tag Team Champions, which were recently changed from the Wyatt Six to the MFTs of Solo and Tamatanga. I'll go first on this one, and I'm going to do a bit of fantasy booking here because we've lost some tag teams on SmackDown. Obviously, um, Tommaso Ciampa went to WCW, so he is out. Um, and Fraxium is still, I guess, kind of doing the tag team thing. But then Kit Wilson's partner is out, so Pretty Deadly is no longer in there as well. So we've got Fraxium, we've got the Wyatts, We've got the Street Profits, and yeah, that's pretty much it, I think, on SmackDown. We don't really see a ton of tag teams anymore. Am I missing any tag teams on SmackDown? I
Motor
don't
City
think
Machine
so.
Guns are still there.
Motor City Machine Guns are still there. Yeah, that's right. Um, I'm gonna go with the Street Profits. I think a returning Street Profits who have been out for a little while. Maybe they'll come back and they'll finally like do the heel thing and they'll do it right. And they will they'll capture those titles. But I think the MFTs will hold them for a while, as they probably should.
So with the MFTs finally taking the belts off of the Wyatt Six, I don't think that storyline is done. However, I don't think they're dropping the belts back to them. I'm pretty sure they're probably going to use like a freebird rule there and have pretty much any member of the MFTs be able to defend it. Um,
Probably.
I like your thoughts as far as the Street Profits go. However, I'm going to hold out hope that our next tag team champions, when the belts do change hands, are going to be Fraxium. I think that the MFTs are going to hold the belts for a while, probably through WrestleMania, I think. I mean, you want them to be taken seriously as a dangerous group. What better way to do it than to hold those belts for 10 months? You know what I mean? And I think that they can have the opportunity to have a couple of good feuds there with the Profits and Fraxium, maybe a debuting team from NXT.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. Moving on to the women's tag team champions, currently held by Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. This one, these belts are probably the second best booked belts right now in the entire company.
Yep.
So I am loving, and we've said this for a while on our channel, I'm loving what they're doing with this division. And I have a feeling, based on what I'm going to say, that it's going to dip a little bit, but I went first last time, so you can go ahead here.
So I mean, they're booking the women's tag team division incredibly well lately. The fact that there are a number of legitimate contenders for the belts is huge. Right now, I believe the number one contenders are Kiana James and Julia. I doubt they take the belts off of Rio. It's way too soon, but they should put on a good match. I mean, based off what we saw at the Rumble and what we know that Julia can do. I, as much as I hate to say it, I think that there's two potential tag teams that are going to be our next potential tag team champions for the women's side. This is sad. This is actually going to be sad the way that I'm ranking this. But the tag team out of the two that I would rather have win it is Nia Jackson, Lash Legend. However, the Bella twins are probably going to win it. And I think that that is going to do nothing except hurt everything that they've done good lately for that women's tag team division. Like we know that, I mean, yes, Brie Bella or Nikki Bella has definitely gotten a little bit better in the ring than she used to be, but I have no idea what to expect out of Brie Bella in an actual like match, other than her getting in the ring, screaming Brie mode, and doing the Daniel Bryanson kicks.
Daniel Bryanson. Uh, yeah, I also am of the mind that the Bellas are going to win the titles, and it's going to be at WrestleMania in a multi-person match with probably Nia and Lash, probably Alexa and Charlotte, and probably Bailey and Lyra as well. I would not mind Bailey and Lyra being the next ones to win those. I think
Yep.
that they deserve them. Maybe Bailey and Lyra will be the ones to take them off of them. But the way things are going right now, Rhea and Io should hold those belts until Mania, which is only 2 months and 2 weeks away. So, I
Yeah.
mean, that's not a long time for them to hold those belts. They'll probably have 3, 4 matches in between now and then. So, yeah, absolutely. I would say with good confidence it'll likely be the Bellas in a multi-person match at WrestleMania.
Yep.
Which takes us to the WWE Women's World Champion, which is currently held by Stephanie Becker. And this one is kind of a layup, for at least for me. I think it's going to be Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan won the Royal Rumble, obviously, and I think Liv just beats her at WrestleMania. I don't think that Stephanie is going to retain the belt there. I'm not sure what to make of Stephanie's title run right now, and I don't want to like break it all down, on this predictions video, but it seems like it's been a little bit of a failure, and they haven't, and I don't blame her for it because she's great in the ring. Her matches have been excellent, but the booking's been half-ass. So I think that she's in need of a little bit of, not a reset, but I think they put the title on her maybe a bit too quickly, and she'll get it back. And they're gonna do their match with her and Rhea eventually. But I think you put it on Liv for a little while, and then Liv will probably lose it at SummerSlam to somebody else. But yeah, right now my pick is Liv Morgan.
So Stephanie's the fact Stephanie's title reign has had a lot going wrong with it. Like even at the very beginning, where she almost didn't even have her match against Io because she was so sick. Like she's just had bad luck, and the bad luck to be women's champion in a time where so many people who would normally be your number one contenders are all being focused on as tag team wrestlers rather than singles wrestlers.
Oh,
And that's kind of left the roster a little bit depleted as far as people that could go up against her. It's the same thing going on SmackDown. But I think that Stephanie obviously just finished her feud with Raquel. She is going to immediately be going into her feud for Mania with Liv. I think that she beats Liv at WrestleMania
really?
because either Roxanne or Raquel cost Liv.
Okay.
Because we're gonna be right in the middle of the Judgment Day breakup, and it might be Roxanne and Raquel that cost Liv. But I think that the Judgment Day breakup comes back to bite Liv in the ass.
So then who beats Stephanie?
I think Stephanie ends up losing to Rhea at either Evolution or SummerSlam if they do
Okay.
another Evolution.
All right. That takes us to the WWE Women's Champion, Jade Cargill.
I get to go first with this one, Joy.
You
Um,
you do. This one shouldn't be too hard.
so Jade Cargill, otherwise affectionately known as Jadeberg, currently has zero feasible feuds because she's injured every single person that they've tried to start a feud with her with. They Bianca Belair is still MIA. It's actually caused concern amongst a large portion of the fans, the fact that nobody's heard anything. She wasn't at the Rumble. So unless WWE is doing a fantastic job of keeping it a secret for her to come back and win the Elimination Chamber, I think the only believable person for Jade to be going up against in the near future is Jordynne Grace. I think Jordynne Grace is going to win the Elimination Chamber to face Jade at WrestleMania. And if God were a wrestling fan, he would have Jordynne Grace win. But I, the only other thing that truly believe could happen is Bianca Belair comes back at Elimination Chamber and wins. Because I don't see any other path that WWE can go down because they've written themselves into a corner with Jade. They've made her look so strong and had nobody to go up against her that they've left themselves with Goldberg, to be honest.
I like your pick of Jordynne Grace, and if I were fantasy booking, I think that that would be likely. I just don't know how much they're going to do that with her because I don't know. I worry that she's going to be getting the Rusev treatment. And what I mean by that is she's getting like no reaction at all. She's getting some time to cut promos and stuff like that backstage. But I do not think she's going to win the Elimination Chamber because I just don't think WWE is presenting her in such a way right now that makes her look like she should be at the top of the card. I do, however, think that the person who is going to beat Jade, assuming Bianca Belair does not return, which I'm going to just assume right now that she's not coming back anytime soon, is going to be the number 30 entrant of the Royal Rumble, and that is
Oh,
Tiffany Stratton. I
I
think
forgot
Tiffany
she's back.
Stratton will reclaim the title and beat Jade Berg. She'll probably win the Chamber, and maybe even beat her sooner. And she may even be the champion before WrestleMania even gets here. Jade's title run has been a complete failure, and they desperately need to put the shine back on that belt. And Jade needs to go down the card. Frankly, I think Jade should probably go to NXT. They won't do that, but I would put the US title on Jade. Honestly, if I could switch Jade and Julia right now, I would. I would put the US title on Jade and I would have Jade just have Goldberg-esque matches for the next 6 months so you could rebuild her character. That would
Jade,
probably be the way I would go about doing it.
just watching Jade, you can see that if anybody on the roster should have gone through NXT, it's Jade Cargill. You can tell that the way that they treated her in AEW and the fact that they gave her that absolute Goldberg treatment, it did nothing but hurt her as far as her skills go. I mean, I've said it before on the channel. Bill Goldberg and the streak were done to hide his deficiencies as a wrestler. And with Jade, it's basically more or less the same thing. Her promos are, "Oh, I'm that bitch." Like, what kind of promo is that? You know what I mean? Just have her come out and crush people and then leave and don't even ever say anything at that point. Like, I mean,
Exactly.
Undertaker and Kane had better promos when they said 3 words.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. Which takes us to undisputed WWE champion Drew McIntyre. Um, this one's interesting, and because it's obviously going to be the person who wins the Elimination Chamber who is going to challenge him at Mania. And the way it's looking right now, it seems like it's probably going to be a triple threat at Mania between him, Jacob, and Cody. But to be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be either one of those guys anymore. Like, I feel like him and Cody at Mania just makes a ton of sense, but just I don't know if that's actually the direction that they're going to go. And I'm wondering if they could maybe put somebody else in there. But
They will.
the more I look up and down the SmackDown roster, I just don't think so. So I'm gonna go with Cody. I think it's just gonna be Cody, probably at WrestleMania. Cody just wins, and we maybe we get a heel turn out of Cody. I doubt it, but I think right now I think it's probably gonna be Cody. I'd like it to be Jacob, but it's probably gonna be Cody.
So, as of right now, Drew McIntyre is in a feud with Cody Rhodes and sort of Jacob Fatu via him thinking that he assaulted him and by proxy because Cody as well. However, I think that come Mania, that we will be seeing a fatal four-way at for the title with Sami Zayn walking out as champion. I think
Hmm?
that I don't just looking at the card and looking at everything going on in SmackDown, where do you put Sami Zayn otherwise? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
as of right
probably.
now, there is nowhere else that Sami Zayn can go. And they let him have his match in Saudi Arabia, which I predicted he would lose and he did. I think that he finally gets to win the big one at WrestleMania, a la Jey Uso. I don't think that he has a title reign that's quite as lackluster as Uso, because at least Sammy's a good wrestler. But I think that he is the one who takes the belt off of Drew.
I just think Sammy's going to win it next year at WrestleMania in Riyadh.
I don't know that they want to wait that long.
I think they do.
I keep forgetting that it's in Riyadh next year too.
I don't know, I guess we'll see. Which takes us to our last one, which is WWE World Heavyweight Champion Phil CM Punk.
So Phil Brooks obviously has something still going on with Finn Balor as far as current feuds go. Since the men's elimination chamber at that PLE is going to be for the contender for Mania, I think that Punk will be defending his title against Balor at that PLE. I
Oh, it's in
think that makes the
Chicago, so
most,
definitely.
yeah, I think that makes the most sense as being the spot for that to happen. Obviously, I do not think that he is going to lose, especially with the fact that we already have our one of our WrestleMania main events confirmed with Roman coming out and saying that he's challenging Punk because not because he thinks it's easier, but because he absolutely hates him. And that was honestly one of the best promos that there has been in years. And the fact that I am looking forward to the two of them going back and forth tells you everything you need to know. I, however, think that come WrestleMania and the culmination of that feud, I think Punk retains. I think Punk got his Mania main event last year. He didn't win. I think he gets his Mania main event this year, and I think he wins. And I think he earns Roman's respect.
Clean.
Clean.
So who do you have taking the belt off of Punk?
Punk, um,
That's what the show is all about. The show is all about
yeah,
who is going to be the next person to win that belt.
give me your thoughts and I'll add a thought there in a sec.
It's
Just trying
gonna.
to think
I
of who
mean,
else is
I
on that
think it's.
roster.
I think it's going to be Roman. I think Roman's going to beat him. I
Yeah,
mean, I agree with everything you said. I just think Roman's going to beat him. The problem is, I
I
don't know
think
what the
Braun
hell you
takes it
do.
off of him.
I don't know what the hell you do with that belt after the fact, unless you want to do your big money match for SummerSlam as Braun and Roman, and then Braun beats Roman in the main event of SummerSlam.
That would be huge.
Yeah, they finally
I
coronate Braun. Finally coronate Braun Breaker.
If I'm sticking with my Punk retaining, I still think it's Braun that beats him,
All right,
or it's Paul Heyman
yeah, Paul Heyman on a pole. All
in a
right,
shark
so
cage.
that is our show, guys. So we broke down all 11 titles. This is going to be a monthly video, as I noted at the offset of the video. So we're going to take a look back at this at the beginning of March and then leading into WrestleMania, and we'll do this every month going forward to see how right or how wrong we are, and if any of these titles change between now and then. Well, we'll certainly talk about it. So hopefully we have a little bit of movement here, so we have something to talk about next month. But we will see. So with that, I've been Mike, joined by Mr. Sean O'Neill. Thank you guys for all the support. Leave your comments down below to let us know what you guys think. We do read and respond to all of those. And with that, have yourselves a fantastic evening and take care.